Yes, many thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining now, we are about to go into the second half of the conversation, and I'm having a guest who is joining me all the way from Jos, person of Mr. Geoffrey Burton, the founder of Berom Nations Cup. Good morning, Mr. Jones, Mr. Geoffrey.
Good morning to you, and thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining on today's edition of Talk Sports. Now, bring us up to speed with what has been going on the qualifying stages, and also finally today the semi-finals will be kick-starting by 3 p.m. and also we are expected to see this other second leg of the semi-final being played tomorrow. So, how has the journey been so far?
Well, thank you again for this time. The journey has been so good. You can remember way back from 1st of March where we started. We started with teams from 14 districts. 14 districts of Berom land. Both teams from various villages have competed thoroughly. At the end of the competition of the first phase, which is the preliminaries, we had 8 teams qualified to the second round. We played the quarterfinals with the 8 teams, and then 4 teams emerged to the semi-finals, which will be starting today. And the 4 teams are Kuru District team, Du District, Gel District, and Zang District. So these 4 teams really deserve it because they went through all the stages and played competitively home and away, traveling from one village to another across the 4 local governments. And here they are, they've qualified to play in the semi-finals. So today, Kuru will be playing against Kiel by 3 p.m. at the Bukuru Mini Stadium, where fans will be coming from so many villages across the 14 districts and cheering their loved team. We will see who will win among them. The winner will go straight to the finals, while the losers will go to the third place. So it's going to be an interesting time today.
But there is no time that is not like interesting, and when it has to deal with sport and all of that. So we want to say a job well done to you and the whole organizers of this event. So how what are the talents like when it comes to the current stage of the competition and the way it's going? What are the talents like? Because we've seen the chairman of the sport commission made facts and mention of developing grassroots sporting events. So what can you say the future of the Super Eagles on the 19, on the 20? What does the future stands when with all of these players that we have coming out from Jaws?
Okay, so the talent has been great. I must say that we have seen outstanding talents that I would like to call raw, and they are boys that have been playing in the deep interior villages that hardly even come into Jos City. But you see them playing good basketball, good football. So you wonder what brings about this. Possibly the media. They are watching from viewing centers modern football, and they are also having smartphones where they follow football. Then they're able to play up to date as though they have been playing leagues around. We've seen players who have never been under any coach, have never been under any manager, came out, they are doing well. Teams came out, scouts came out, and they are picking quite a number of players. So the talents are good. And seeing these talents from across these 14 districts, we told ourselves that there is a good future for Nigerian people. All we need to do is to invest more into facility development, into player development, into leagues and tournaments, give them more playing time so they'll keep working their skills, keep getting more exposure. And then by the time they spring up, the state teams, the national teams will be filled with talents that will have room to even pick and leave more for others to pick.
Looking at those angles now as it stands, now how well are you saying we're getting support from the would I say that's the government in Jos and the sporting commission, the sports commissioner in Jos? How well are they supporting this grassroots development? Because you rightly mentioned about infrastructural development. How well are you saying the fields are for these
players to play? an ethnicity cup. So the games have basically been in the ethnic groups' playgrounds. The playgrounds cut across all the ethnic groups in their villages. We've not gone to the government stadiums, but the government have given enabling environment. Without enabling environment, without peace and peaceful coexistence between each other, we wouldn't have room to play this. So they will say, well done to the traditional rulers from the Berom district. We call them the Dagomre. There are 14 traditional rulers heading the 14 districts. They have single-handedly sponsored their teams, transportation, refreshment, etc., home and away. Some even made jerseys, good jerseys, branded jerseys for their team. And these are traditional rulers, like we know, the district heads across Nigeria, but they've paid their time, given their time, use their resources to sponsor their district teams so they will represent them in the Nigerian the Berom Nations Cup. So they are proud of it. But we call on more support. A lot of times when new things come out like this in Nigeria, people tend to sit back and see what happens before later they join. But I call upon people that dreams like this shouldn't die. The first time you see it, if you believe in it, jump into it and support it. But because BESDA, Berom Sports Development Association, is an NGO, a non-profit organization, so we had to go out of our way and sacrifice. There have been a lot of sacrifice from all our officials, the executives, and the main organizing committee, which is the MOC. We've had two. We can clearly say two people. There's a popular scout, the coach Groves of Bukuru. He sent in his cash donation. We have the Honorable Chundun Kele. She also sent in her cash donation. So these are
Yes.
people that saw what was happening and they believe in the dream and they said, wow, let's give in no matter how small, let's give in what we can so we can encourage these young people. And I think we call upon everybody that the youths are important. When it has to do with the youth, come out and support the initiatives that will promote their holistic development. You don't just need them during politics for their votes. They should come in and support what has to do with their personal development. And I think that should be the way forward for Nigeria and then the youth.
This is the first edition of Berom Nations Cup, and you focused more on football. Now, what's the plan for the future? Are they really looking into going to basketball, athleticism, and other sporting activities? Because we have cricket and a whole lot of activities coming up here in Nigeria. So, what's the plan for the future?
So, like you know, the Sports Development Association as an NGO has the objective of uh, really going into various sports development. So what we did is from the local environment here, we looked at what is the most feasible sport. We started with football. What is the next one? We are looking at doing marathon because they are raising the new crop of Kenyans here in Jos. There are a few districts that have outstanding long distance runners, and we are working at to see possibly there could be track and field experts, talents out here. So we have a new department in BESDA that is called BESDA Athletics Department. So the experts there are looking at the marathon, the long distance runners, the short distance runners, and we're hoping to do just marathon soon. We're also hoping to go into volleyball. We're hoping that by the next year, we're hoping to go into volleyball, and we're hoping that we will develop facilities for basketball. And in the next 3 years, we should be able to go into basketball because basketball cannot be played without a concrete floor, without a lot of work on the floor. So that is a long-term goal, 3 years and beyond. And if you look at it very well, you see that our Bongom, which is the overall king in Biromland and in Jos, and the chairman of the Traditional Council of Plateau State, was the former MBBF president while he was custom CG. So he was a basketball player in his time. He was the president of basketball in Nigeria. So we are sure that he will give his support to see that, yes, a basketball league or championship happens within his nationality, engaging the people in his domain.
I want to say a very big thank you to you, Mr. Geoffrey Boston, founder of Berom Nations Cup, for taking our time to join us on today's edition of Talk Sports. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. Thank you.
So moving away from grassroots sporting development, now let's go back to the EPL, where Liverpool defeated Everton 1-0 with Diogo Jota's smart finish to see the Reds go 12 points clear. Good news for Liverpool is that this may be as hard as it gets. The only team wishing to deny them as badly as Everton between now and the end of the season will be Arsenal, and by that time they will visit Anfield on the 10th of May. This title race may be all but over. This was difficult for Liverpool. It was desperately difficult, emotionally tense, and occasionally pretty and petty. Everything that's a derby usually is, but at the same time, everything a team chasing only its second league title in 35 years doesn't need a game to be stopped. Deep into the injury time, at round about the time Everton and James Turkish got them at Goodison Park in mid-February, the nerves that had threatened to drill Liverpool in the first half were back, while they were giving the ball away needlessly and inviting pressure. So Liverpool edging up and defeating Everton 1-0 in London Derby is something that they have been looking forward to, and then this has kept them 12 points clear ahead of Arsenal. Arsenal have so much work to do, not just Arsenal. And later today, we've seen the standings that have changed. We have a standings that have changed in the EPL, where we've seen Liverpool edging and then leading the pack with 73 points, and then we have Arsenal following suit with 61 points, and all of this, it keeps the trajectory keep going like that. We still have Nottingham Forest, who are still sitting in the third place with their points, and also we've seen Liverpool, Manchester City coming up into the fourth place, Newcastle in the fifth position, and Chelsea in the sixth position. So all of this now has changed the standings of the EPL currently. So looking at the current standings now, we have Liverpool at 73 points, Arsenal with 61, Nottingham Forest 57, Manchester City with 51 points, Newcastle with 50 points, Chelsea with 49 points. Now looking at this standings now, currently from the way we're looking at it, it's looking as if Manchester City are cleared for Champions League. Newcastle also still in the race to see if they'll get it through to the Champions League. But as it stands now currently, Chelsea will be playing Tottenham later today at about 7:45 p.m. So if Chelsea get to win their match, they'll go straight back to the number 4th position, and then they'll leave them with 42 points. That's if they get to win. But if they don't win, maybe get a draw, they'll still remain at 6th or 5th position thereabout, and then they'll make it to Euros. So as it stands now currently, we'll be seeing level of changes like this on the Premier League log as matches are being played on a daily basis. Now we'll be having another game that we played today, and then tomorrow and all through the weekend we have lots of actions packed, and all of this also is going to transcend to packs and seeing how well the team is going to be. Ipswich, Leicester City and Southampton automatically are regulated, though Ipswich managed to win their game yesterday, and that has taken them to the still at the number 8 position with 20 points. So it doesn't still change anything. They will still be relegated back to the Championship. This is what it looks like currently on the EPL Premier League log. And then talking about Manchester City, who won their match yesterday, Greenwich scored to give Manchester City a boost in what is called the race to Champions League 2026. So we are looking at all of this, and then he attributed and then dedicated the goal to his late brother who died in the year 2000. And according to him, he said he was very happy to be able to score, given the fact that during this time of the year his family goes through a lot, and then he was able to score a goal while his both parents and siblings were watching. So congratulations to him on that feat. And also Brighton lost 3-0 as Marcus Rashford scores again. Just this past weekend we saw Marcus Rashford scoring, and again last night he scored again. That alone has given the loanee a boost to be able to getting back to his form that we used to know Marcus Rashford for. Aston Villa currently in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup and also still in the Champions League. So it's just very interesting how this guys are going, kudos to Marcus Rashford. And looking at Ruben Amorim now, who is the head coach of Manchester United, we don't know, probably he might want Marcus Rashford back, but there's a clause that says Aston Villa can be able to decide to buy Rashford if that does work out. So looking at all of these feats now, it will just boils down to Marcus Rashford if he wants to go back to his boyhood club Manchester United, or would want to continue playing in Aston Villa. This is how much time will permit us to take on today's edition of Talk Sports. My name is Samuel Odi. I want to say a very big thank you for all of you that tuned in today, and thank you for the entire production team for making today's production seamless. My name is Samuel Odi. I'll see you again as we talk more sports. Bye for now.